Hi, Jim here. I'm going to show a video on how to survive picking cherries. So many people do not survive picking cherries. Get those ladders out, climbing those ladders, trying to get that last cherry, fall off that ladder, emergency room. So here's my method that I came up with. I have all kinds of ladders I used to climb, and yeah, I'd fall off them from time to time, injure myself a little bit here and there. Could have been worse. So here's a bowl of cherries that I just picked. This is the 29th May 2026. So what I got here is I got this engineered this pole. Now, this is a swimming pool screen pole. I took the screen off of it and I added a picker. And they're just perfect for the cherries. Go right in here. The stem slides, and just pluck, pluck, pluck. And you know how those cherries, oh, I forgot that one. Now I got to move that ladder over there. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's those. I didn't see those. Those days are over. Oh, those cherries are so high up in that tree. I'll never get those. I guess I'll let the birds get them. No, don't have to, right? With this gadget here, and it's extendable. So this is a 12 foot. And so including my height and my reach, I don't know, looking close to 20 feet. I got this little tiny step ladder. I can always add a couple of feet, or stack some bricks or just whatever we have. And so I just get up here, and doesn't matter how high those cherries are, I just quickly extend this pole and boom, just start picking and grinning. And what I do is I put them in water because there's these cherry flies that lay their larvae in there, their eggs, and they hatch out in there. So what I do is I'll pick them and toss them in the water, and those larvae need to breathe. And so what they'll do, for about an hour or so, they'll come out and float on the surface. I mean, it's just a little extra protein. I'm sure I've eaten many thousands of them, didn't even know it until I realized I bit half of a cherry and I said, what's that? What's those white things crawling around in my cherry? I never noticed them for the first 5 years. So they've probably always been there. And so you can always tell when you squeeze the cherry and you see bubbles coming out of little holes, there's a worm in there. Unless it already hatched out, so I don't care. I don't mind the extra protein. We've been eating those things for centuries. So it's really easy. Those cherries that are those really fat, juicy ones that you just can't reach, unless you risk breaking your neck climbing a ladder. This little setup will do that. And it's really easy to extend the pole, and doesn't almost matter where I'm at. The pole's so long I can reach on the other side of the fence and just, reach it right over and dip it into my bucket wherever it's at in the area. Really, really convenient, really safe. No climbing anything, no getting injured, no finding yourself in the emergency room, all because of some cherries, right? Get those ones that way at top, way up there, and of course there's going to be a few branches now and then. I don't break many. I try to get underneath of them and just kind of grab one or two so I don't break the branch. Those branches are pretty fragile, like that one. They always seem to grow back pretty good though. And so there you go, a little method to stay alive. I've seen and heard so many stories about people picking their cherries with a ladder, and their peaches and apples, and they don't, maybe they're in a wheelchair for the rest of their lives, or it's dangerous to climb a ladder. I climb my ladder on my roof all the time, but I got a system down that it's really safe. The way I keep my ladder stabilized, and just I can run right up my ladder, literally, physically. run right up. And so I'll let those soak for a couple hours, and they those little worms will float to the top, and it's a done deal. So simple, so easy. It's not backbreaking, you know. You just kind of wander around. Okay, what's what here? Here's some here. There's a nice group there. You know, you don't have to move that ladder, reposition that ladder over here and over there and all over the place, and you know, so much simpler, right? And there's the cherries in there, you know, in a little basket. And many times I'll just fill that basket up, and then I'll dump it. All right, so simple, so safe. So anything that we can do in our life that keeps us safer, so we don't have to end up in an emergency room, knowing that there's a reasonable risk for permanent injury or worse. If we can engage in that kind of behavior, that's safer. That's why we wear seatbelts, right? It's safer. It's not that we are going to get in a car accident. It's just the odds are fair enough that we will, then it's worth wearing a seatbelt. So, yeah, good thing with my strawberries, I don't have to climb. I don't have to use a pole. I got these strawberry patches here. I just installed those in spring, early spring. Getting lots of strawberries. Got a nice little bucket of those today. And so, there you go. Cherry picking and a grinning with safety. All right, that's it. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, and you stay safe. Bye now. I'm trying to get them before the birds get most of them.